CNN Money did the very radical idea of actually talking to an economist about Bernie Sanders' various plans. And this is a new thing that some places are doing. This is to try to avoid the idiot pundits on TV who pontificate and don't know anything. So they said, hey, why not go to actual experts and see what happens? So Gerald Friedman, a University of Massachusetts Amherst economics professor, said the following when speaking about Bernie's plans after doing calculations on them and figuring out what the net effect will be. Quote, median income would soar by more than $22,000. Nearly 26 million jobs would be created, and the unemployment rate would fall to 3.8%. That seems to be the opposite of the doom and gloom we hear on TV from CNBC idiots, for example, who are wholly convinced that Bernie Sanders is Mao and he's going to destroy freedom and liberty and everything great in the world. All right, they continue here. Friedman found that if Sanders became president and was able to push his plan through Congress, median household income would be $82,200 by 2026. Far higher than the $59,300 projected by the Congressional Budget Office. Wow. So please run some more headlines where you fearmonger and you take Bernie out of context and say, yes, we're going to raise taxes. Yes, we are. You're neglecting the rest of that sentence, which is, I'm net going to save you money. This is specifically in reference to healthcare, where he says, okay, if I raise your taxes $500, I will give you back $5,000 from you getting ripped off by price gouging insurance companies. So you're net going to save a lot of money. They don't tell you that second part. They just tell you the first part. Raise taxes, raise taxes. Oh my God, this is going to be horrible for everybody. They say, in addition, poverty would plummet to a record low 6%, as opposed to the CBO's forecast of 13.9%. He would more than cut poverty in half with his plans that he's already released. The U.S. economy would grow by 5.3% per year instead of 2.1%, and the nation's $1.3 trillion deficit would turn into a large surplus by Sanders' second term. Sanders planned to pour $14.5 trillion into the economy, including spending on infrastructure and youth employment, increasing Social Security benefits, making college free, and expanding health care and family leave, would juice GDP and productivity. Also, Sanders would raise the minimum wage, as well as shift income from the rich to the middle and working class through tax hikes on the wealthy and corporations. So, understand what's being said here. In virtually every single category, people would be better off. Now, when you point that out, usually what's the dodge that people go to? They say, deficit. Deficit's the problem. We can't afford it. It's that simple. Well, they just explained here. The opposite would happen. There would be a surplus. And remember, you're not disagreeing with me if you disagree. You're disagreeing with this economist. Now, to be fair, this guy also, he's an economist. He also categorizes himself, though, as a social democrat. He's worked in the past for Bernie Sanders, but it was unpaid when he worked for Bernie Sanders. But either way, he says, look, I'm doing calculations. You can look at my calculations if you want. I'm actually bothering to go by the numbers and bothering to go by facts. Now, whether or not Bernie's actually able to implement all of his agenda is a different conversation, and that's one where the answer is a resounding no. The way our system works, he's not going to be able to get every single thing he wants. You know, at best, maybe he'll be able to get 10 or 20% of what he wants. But you need somebody in there who knows how to negotiate in the first place. You need somebody in there who doesn't concede up front like Obama does and like Hillary is saying she'll do, where, for example, on healthcare, they started negotiating with just the public option. Then they buckled to, let's do your old plan, Republicans, the right-wing plan of an individual mandate system where we make everybody buy from private insurance companies. If you had Bernie in there, what would he have done? He would have started with single payer, insisted on single payer, and then the middle ground, the compromise could have been the public option. So you need somebody in there with a bold agenda for the American people in order to get anything done. But Hillary concedes up front, Obama concedes up front, and don't get me wrong, they're better than if the Republicans have control of everything, obviously, but that doesn't mean they're progressive, that doesn't even mean they're liberal. What it means is, in the final summation, they get centrist or center-right, pro-establishment, pro-corporate legislation through, and it's better than the Republicans, but it ain't that great. And now you know there's evidence, there's data, there's facts, there's numbers to back up the reality that Bernie Sanders is going to make life a hell of a lot better for middle-class people, for working people, for poor people, and he's going to do it by trying to implement logical policies.